So I have been listening to a lot of podcasts recently, which I feel like I say every single time, but it's okay. And actually, there have been two big themes from the podcasts I've been listening to. One is the effects of seed oils, which we kind of talked about in the Great American Poisoning uh, episode that we did. And then another one is glyphosate, which my wife is uh, a big
Someone
fan.
you know.
Um, but yeah, so in terms of seed oils, I mean, obviously, so there's a podcast that I listen to, and sometimes they can get a little extreme, like never ever do this, always do this. It's like one side or the other occasionally. And when it comes to seed oils, one of the ladies that came out, I don't even remember who it was, to be honest, but she said that seed oils are probably the most harmful toxin in the entire grocery store, which is kind of crazy because people think about sugar a lot, which it like fructose can be pretty bad for you. But for her to even say that, whether that's actually true or not, it was just really interesting to see how toxic cereals are and how they're in everything. So like um let's see,
Did
just
she
the different.
indicate if that was uh but per unit or if that's because of how much of it you consume? Is it toxic because you're consuming so much more of it of everything else, or is it per unit the most toxic thing in the store? Or did she clarify that?
She didn't, but I'm assuming that she meant because of how much we consume. I think she said that about 95% of all the food in grocery stores has seed oils in it, and which like canola oil you see on everything. It's like with
Mm-hmm.
canola oil, butter with canola oil, literally cashews in
Wait, they
canola
sell
oil.
butter with canola oil?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know, it's just in everything. But the effects of seed oils on your body, it's just it was insane. It's been a little bit since that was probably a couple weeks ago. So I don't want to get all the effects wrong, but I know that like long term, people who have been eating seed oils or consuming seed oils in any fashion for like with for most of the food that they eat, some pretty bad long term effects. And one thing that was really specific, and I was like, oh dang it. Not for me, but for my parents, they drink a lot of coffee, but they actually they drink a lot of creamer with their coffee. It's basically like, do you want some coffee with your creamer because of how much creamer that they put in. The problem is they use Coffee Mate, and Coffee Mate is one of the worst products in the entire store because it's basically, according to someone else, like pretty much just made up of industrial oil and other chemicals. And like you're just drinking it and it tastes good because it's zero sugar, but it's so bad for you. And I was like, oh no. They drink it by the gallon, so I'm gonna have to talk to them about that.
I'm surprised they haven't switched to a better creamer. Coffee Mate's not bad, but man, you can't beat heavy cream. No beating heavy cream.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find a new creamer for them. Hopefully, because I don't want them to get any serious diseases from the amount of creamer that they drink.
So what was she saying that the seed oils do?
That's it was a little while ago, and so I don't want to get it totally wrong, but I
Yeah.
think one of the main things that seed oils do is like it just coats different organs, and so then it makes it harder for blood. I think it was is the kidney or the liver what like cleans out your system.
I think kidneys are primarily like water, aqueous. Um, separating stuff from water, and then your liver handles what all does the liver handle? I know it's important in the blood sugars. I don't remember if it does. I think it processes fats too, but other than that, it's supposed to be processed by your bile system, gallbladder. What? Because wasn't it if you have your gallbladder removed, you have trouble with fatty foods? I could be totally wrong with that.
It might be.
Somewhere some doctor just died.
Did you see? Yeah, no, yeah.
It was
Um,
like, oh, that was
that was
terrible.
totally wrong. Anyways, so do you know who Deion Sanders is from the NFL? So
No,
he's like a big time star back before the 2000s, before I was born. Um, he actually had his
that's
gallbladder
scary.
removed because he had gallbladder cancer recently, and he
Oh,
told no one. He didn't even tell his sons, literally. Like that's how secret they
wow.
kept it. It was him and his doctors, pretty much.
Hmm.
And then he had it removed, and he's been coming back from it. And so he finally told everyone, like, "Hey, the cancer's gone. I had it removed, and I'm getting back to 100%." I just thought that was
Mm-hmm.
crazy and connected
Yeah.
with the ladder. But I would probably need to do a little more research on the seed oils. I'm not I can't quite remember what she said, but I know there was just so many things. So I will find that podcast episode and send it to you and
Sure.
I'll
What was her chosen alternative for oils?
um basically she said shop the perimeter of the
Mm-hmm.
store because whole like those kinds of foods don't have ingredients. The food is the ingredient. So don't just shop Whole Foods and also buy from like local farmers markets and stuff, because those are all going to be locally grown and much better for you. So it was just like eat whole food was kind of her alternative because it's going to
Gotcha.
be more filling. We
Mm-hmm.
even talked about like a bag of potato chips or Doritos or whatever, and how you could go eat a whole bag and
Right.
be ready for a whole nother bag
Mm-hmm.
because they don't fill you up at all and they cause you to actually be more hungry. Whereas if you were to go eat like a whole chicken breast, you know, maybe if you're a guy who plays sports all the time, like I am, you could potentially eat a second one. Most people would be like, man, I'm pretty full. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
you ate 3 times the amount of calories in Doritos and were ready to eat a whole nother bag, which is
Yeah.
really interesting and true. I feel like there's a lot of people I know who can eat bags and bags of Doritos. My brothers. Yeah.
They're in their 20s. They'll bounce back from it. It's fine.
Yeah. I guess so. Until they start to get cancer when they're 30, and then it's gonna be like, oh shoot, choices we made.
Then they'll be coming to you for all the answers.
Yeah.
Uh, you were talking, not to switch subjects, but if you're ready to, you mentioned sleep and energy before we started talking. I know that you've had some weekend outings with family that have taken you past your bewitching hour. So tell me about your thoughts on that.
What's really interesting is yesterday and Thursday, I was at a summit or like an event called the Global Leadership Summit. Have you ever heard of that?
I think maybe you'd mentioned it, but no.
Yeah, so it's it was started by Bill Hybels, but Craig
Remind me who Bill
Groeschel.
Hybels was.
What'd you say?
Remind me who Bill Hybels was.
He was the pastor of Willow Creek Church, and he had some sexual misconduct allegations that forced him
The
to
good stuff.
resign. Yeah. Uh, but the summit itself is really good, and now it's run by Craig Groeschel, who's a megachurch
Oh
pastor.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
he's honestly pretty solid from
He's
what
written
I've
some books,
seen
right?
for Craig
Yeah.
Groeschel.
Yeah. He has. I've read a
Yeah,
couple of
and
his
John
books.
Maxwell was there as well, and I think
Oh,
he
okay.
was. at the very first one. He helped start
Mm-hmm.
it, but he hasn't run it since. He was just at the, or he just helped like the idea come together.
Yeah.
Anyways, all that to say, there was a guy whose name was Justin Hewitt. Um, he's a he's a performance scientist. And what was
Like sports
no
kind of stuff.
business performance, like
Oh.
literally what I am talking about with sleep and energy and productivity and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He does all the science behind it. And it was really interesting because he was like, which was felt so good to have a like a performance scientist back me up. But he was like, yeah, if you get less than 6 hours of sleep the night before, your productivity gets cut by about like 19%. And then he said, and I was like, this is actually crazy. If you get 6 hours of sleep for the whole week before, it is the equivalent of staying up the entire night for the next week, which was crazy. And I feel like
Meaning, if you got 6 hours of sleep every day the week preceding,
yeah, it would be the equivalent of pulling an all-nighter and getting zero sleep
you would
before.
also probably get a divorce.
Um, but yeah, so it was nice to have him back me up. And he talked a lot about productivity and like taking rest. And so he said, in work, rest isn't a reward from doing well. Rest is actually what helps you do better work. So it's important to take
Mm-hmm.
rest in the middle of your workday, which is why I started taking the walks in the first place when I was, well, I still do take the walks. And it has helped me not necessarily burn out, but instead like be more energized coming back. And so he kind of verified those two things and obviously some other things, but those specifically, those were habits that I've like getting 7 hours of sleep or more, and then taking some breaks throughout the day, taking walks and being active, but also my mind's not active. So like I'll take a walk and then sometimes I'll just listen to music that I've listened to 1,000 times. And so therefore my mind wanders because I don't really care about the
Mm-hmm.
words anymore because I've listened to it so much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will literally just not listen to music. I will just sit there and let my mind wander. But yeah. So all of that to say, recently I've been getting some pretty good sleep other than like Friday nights, which is really ironic because that's the night I have to wake or that's the next morning is the morning I have to wake up the earliest, which I've been trying to
You're
tell
welcome.
my wife and well no, it's
No,
not
no, no.
it's
Don't
not
use me as a way to get out of staying up late with your wife.
Um, yeah. So I haven't been getting as good of sleep on Friday nights, but other nights of the week, like I don't have a specific schedule that I have to be up for stuff, but I still try to wake up around the same times because that was something else he said was like be consistent
Yeah.
and sleep for 7+ hours, ideally closer to 8, but also it depends on the person. Some people can actually deal with less sleep. Some people deal with more sleep, which I feel like I'm someone who has to do more sleep, which is
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But so because I've been doing all those things, I've been taking walks, taking breaks, I've been active throughout the day. I feel like I'm getting pretty good sleep other than Friday nights. I feel like my energy and my productivity has been like way better. Like if I have something that I need to get done for someone, I'll just knock it out in the morning in like two
Mm-hmm.
hours And then after those 2 hours, I will get so much other stuff done because I feel like I did. So like I'll knock that out, then I'll work out, and then I just get so much stuff done the rest of the day because I feel like I started my day really well because I slept well, because I took breaks the day before. So I don't know. I just feel like my energy is at an all-time healthy level,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah.
I feel pretty good, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Except for
On
this
top
morning.
of getting
Not well.
rest and actually having physical rest, the feeling of feeling rested is also critically important. I've been recently reviewing, I can't remember her name, researcher from Harvard, I think. and she studies people's perception and how much she can push the envelope of getting people's physical bodies to change with their perception of reality. And one of the things that she did was, and we talked about her before with healing of wounds, but one of them was changing the clock so that people perceive that they got more sleep than they really did, and its effects on performance the following 24 hours. And so the feeling is also as important as, well, maybe not as important, but important with the physical
I would say
manifestation of
it
it.
potentially could be as important because there's just been so many times recently where someone like tells me like, "Oh, I did this, so then this happened." And in my mind, I'm like, that doesn't cause that. But if they're thinking it, then it might have
Mm-hmm.
actually
Yeah.
caused it to happen.
Yeah.
Because I know we
Yes.
talked about the placebo effect and then the no placebo effect. There's also
Mm-hmm.
been some times where someone like, "Yeah, that doesn't work." And I'm like, "Now it's definitely not going to work because you said it would."
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yep. 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 Oh man. And now, as far as exercising and feeling good, you also mentioned you've been rucking. Is that right?
Yeah, so I because I broke my hand a couple months ago, my father-in-law got me a 50-pound vest, which has honestly been amazing. I I had a 15-pound vest before and it was like, it was kind of hard, but
Mm-hmm.
15 pounds is not that much. But then
Yeah.
I got this 50-pound vest and I'm like, "Ugh," trying to get it on. And so I've been, other than the last 2 days, because I had an event, I've been doing about 2 to 3 15 to 20-minute walks per day with the 50-pound vest. And it has been getting easier. And so I can literally feel the difference. Because when I first
Mm-hmm.
put it on and I like the first time I ever went on a walk, I was dying because it was hard. And now that I've done it pretty consistently, I can feel, and I've been working out outside of that as well, like doing some specific strength training.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel that I'm adapting to it. And so I guess my goal is to, well, I have two goals. One, get my wife involved because she doesn't really like to work out and it's just a walk and she can take the 15-pound
Join the
vest.
club.
So we did it a couple times and then kind of fell off because she had school, which she finished, by the way, last Friday, and graduation is today. So we're gonna
Beautiful.
head up.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we're gonna head up to Lafayette after this. But um, yeah, so trying to get her involved. But the second thing is just like keep putting on pounds, pretty much, of weight for the best. Obviously not pounds for me. But my father-in-law has some extra, like basically you slide in these,
Yeah, it's got pockets.
yeah, it's like little metal pieces or
Mm-hmm.
maybe not even metal, just weight pieces. He has a couple extra ones. So I'm gonna start adding to it and then just start building my traps even more because that's where I feel it the most, my upper
Oh,
back.
interesting. Yeah.
So, because it's not even my legs or my arms, I guess. It's like literally my traps and my upper back
Huh.
taking all the weight,
Yeah.
and I can feel them adapting to the weight, which is pretty cool. So I would
Yeah.
highly suggest rucking. It has been really nice because it's pretty easy and um me and one of our old coworkers who stopped working there a little while ago, who you
Mm-hmm.
know went rucking. Um, and that was fun. We just talked and put on some weight vests, and it's a good workout too. So, yeah,
Nice.
suggest it.
Nice. Cool beans.
So, you recently had something big happen for the third time. Tell us about home delivery for a kid and
Home
some of the things you
delivery.
learned.
Have your kids delivered. Um,
Amazon
no,
delivery for kids.
that's good. I highly recommend it if anybody's on the fence about it. What I will say about it and about everything else is the risk profile of having a home birth is probably a different set of risks, but If you deliver in a hospital and don't have a supportive team, you are liable to get a different set of risks. Um, I really liked the team that we had, these midwives, who have helped with actually all three of my kids' births. Um, because in part, like the whole perception thing, they're super calm. And with this one, unlike the second one, my wife has no pre-labor. If you're not familiar with how labor works, most of the time there's a pre-labor where um, contractions will happen over a long period of time.
That when you
But
text
lots of
me,
time,
this might be happening.
no, my wife does not have pre-labor.
Oh,
um, uh, she started having contractions like 2 minutes apart or something. She basically skips the whole pre-labor thing, which is where you hear people talking about like, yeah, I played cards with my husband, or we went for a long walk, or whatever. My wife almost immediately goes straight into, I'm standing over the bathroom sink with the contraction timer and put on the TENS. You know what a TENS unit is?
no. I have
It's
not experienced a birth.
well, TENS units. Like if you go to the chiropractor, some chiropractors will use them.
Mm.
They're pads with a like a what do I mean? Electro shock pads that will go through a certain area. Like if you've
Oh,
got
yeah,
muscle
that
pain,
makes
you can
sense.
buy them. Um, she has used one for the last two pregnancies and really liked it because it inhibits pain, helps pain management, and gives you control. The one we were talking about this. We got another one, and I was like, honey, we should just get this other one. It has a boost button. And regardless of whether the boost button actually does something or not, giving you something to do and feeling like you have control will be beneficial. Now, whether it was, I don't know. But afterwards, she was like, yes, I'm super glad that we got that one. So she goes straight into labor, and it was about 5 hours. Gave birth in a tub, like with the second kid, and everything went smoothly. 10 and a half pound baby. Uh, and the only complication was the placenta, which is the part inside that actually feeds the baby. Um, like it's the separation between you and the baby. Um, it They think probably adhered to some scar tissue, whether that be previous miscarriages or C-section that we had with the first kid. And so it took a while to get out. And during that, she lost, is it, I always get the units wrong, liters of blood, 2 liters, which is right on the cusp of you need a transfusion or not. So
Oh,
it wasn't the birth. The birth was totally fine. The
yeah.
placenta just took a while to get out because your body will have contractions after it releases the baby. And those contractions help get the placenta off the um, internal wall, and then it can be birthed out. And so she's just been super tired this week. So I've just been home
Yeah.
doing stuff, letting the slow chaos of toys throughout the house build up as I try and take care of the other kids.
Yeah.
But
Have you been working
no,
with
it's been
glyphosate?
good. Benefits of home birth, I would say, is way more laid back in our experience. If you can find a primary care physician or OBGYN that is supportive, sure, but way more laid back. They don't see pregnancy as a condition. It's just a thing. I mean, I think one of the midwives we had has delivered over 600 babies. So they've seen it all pretty much. Um, and then stuck around and helped clean everything up and put things together and make sure she was feeling well. And yeah, it really is a seamless for us. Has been seamless with this kid and the last one, where it's just like, oh, she went into labor at 11. Our kids are asleep in the other room. Had a kid. Kids woke up. Come see the new kid. Um,
That's funny.
yeah, and it's other than the fatigue, a pretty. It's just like a smooth transition into the family. It's like, hey, we're doing all the same stuff. We just got another kid, and there's not like a big go to a hospital, stay there for 3 days, want to strangle a nurse because they want you to feed your baby every 2 hours and won't shut up. Um, and in my experience, not having like Pitocin and the other drugs that they sometimes give you in the hospital, your baby is less, what do I mean, jaundice, and is a little more active. So, like within 45 minutes or 90 minutes of being birthed, they're already looking around for a nipple to start feeding. Whereas a kid in the hospital oftentimes is just like really lethargic.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah,
I feel
so it
lethargic
was
in
good.
hospitals too.
I think everyone does.
Yeah. So, okay, wait. Maybe this is a misconception that I have, but I thought once you had a C-section, you couldn't go back to normal vaginal birth.
Oh, primary care physicians will tell you, well, not primary care, OBGYNs will sometimes tell you that. And that is a common thought, but it's not true. It's called a VBAC, vaginal birth after C-section. They've had them for years. You also get people who will tell you you can only, if you gave birth via C-section, you could only give birth via C-section, but that's not true either. Um, or that you could only have like three, but there's physicians that'll do more than that. The risks are if you have a C-section, it increases the risk of having the egg implant on the scar,
Oof.
which I have heard of women who have survived that. Many times that can be dangerous because the scar tissue doesn't expand at the same rate, and in birth or late pregnancy can tear. So you're trying to birth the baby and you run the risk of tearing open and bleeding to death. Like I said, I have heard of women who have had kids that way, but it's one of those things where like you're going to go in for an induction or have a C-section and you're going to be monitored the whole time because there is serious risk. Uh, and my wife has researched it. She knows all the probabilities. I mean, it increases risk of rupture by 1 or 2%. It's not.
Wow.
I mean, out of 100 people, it's not tiny, but that probably shouldn't be the deterring factor in having a home birth. But it is a factor that can go into it.
Dang. Well,
Yeah,
it could potentially cause the placenta to get stuck and then you lose lots of blood.
yeah. It was. I mean, the placenta is just it's gross looking, but instead of being of similar thickness the whole way through, it was like one part would be really thin and then another part would be thick. And so after you have a miscarriage, you can also get scarring. In any place where it is over that scarring, it'll tend to be thinner because it's not getting as many nutrients from that area. So it will thicken up in a good area and then thin out in that area.
Interesting. Well,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of sleep, how's your sleep been? How's your sleep been recently?
How's your sleep's been? My sleep's been okay. Really, with the last, well, all of our kids have slept well. I cannot, the whole
Uh,
like God will only give you what you can handle. Well, I apparently can't handle very much because I have really good sleepers. Now, this one does wake up every 3 or 4 hours. Usually there's two feedings a night,
It's
and
not
she's
that bad
latched
though.
really well. No,
Do you wake
she's
up for
latched
one?
really well. She doesn't cry. I will wake up and change a diaper or help my wife get to the bathroom if she needs it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm like, oh, she's breastfeeding again. Uh, but I let my wife take naps while I take care of the rest of the kids during the day.
Yeah.
But
No,
no, we've had good sleepers. It hasn't been a problem.
I do want to say just big shout out to the women because they take a lot of responsibility when it comes to it's
Yeah, I told
insane
my
how
wife, I
much
was
they
like,
can do.
I cannot be you. This house is falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Well,
Mm-hmm.
any you got anything else?
Not on this topic.
I think that's a lot for the audience to handle. No, I think that was a good podcast. So we'll end it there. Our email, jc.unscripted@gmail.com. Please send us some ideas and topics. And yeah, that's the pod. All right.